On our next set, we have Musekiwa Moyo. Of course, we'd love to know who Musekiwa Moyo is. He is a young Zambian ICT and multiple award-winning expert who has served in a number of high-profile institutions such as Atlas Mara, Business Connections, Vale Mining, and now Anglo American in different capacities. He also has done a numerous of independent consultancies. He has won the following awards, among others: Asia's Healthcare and Social Care Support Award for the year 2020 to 2021, Global Choice Award, 8th edition for 2022, as well as Zicta Innovations Award. Of course, the topic that Musekiwa will handle is the use of ICTs and technological innovations in heritage monitoring and conservation in the face of climate and disaster risk impacts, a Zambian innovation. Of course, Musekiwa will be joined by Mr. Kagosi Mwamro. But just now, let's have Musekiwa Moyo. Musekiwa.
Thank you very much. So obviously the topic in hand is the use of ICT and technology innovations in heritage monitoring, conservation, face of climate and disaster impacts. So thank you for the introduction. Obviously, my name is Musekiwa. I've won several awards in my career, and I've obviously I've got ICT background, having a degree from University of Greenwich and several qualifications. So the first aspect has to do with satellite imaging. So obviously, most of us are aware of how satellite imaging works. Some people may not know. So most people use satellite imaging to monitor, water bodies, deforestation, and also track climate. Effects of climate on climates, obviously on things like obviously harmful gases, and also provide agriculture insight. So these are known facts. The problem is what I then discovered was is the fact that the problem with satellite imaging, right? It's very expensive, obviously, to own one, to launch one, and to maintain one. Second part of it was also very difficult for most people to understand know-hows on how to use this satellite imaging, right? In a lot of technical expertise to fully understand how this works. So basically, in as much as you could have all the tools, like Google Pro and other tools people use, it's actually very difficult to get actual information for a specific site. And also, other people don't understand the technology as it is, don't even know what satellite imaging is even in this era, right? And number two is also very difficult to analyze the data. So in as much as you have this satellite imaging, you find it's very difficult the trends, the data to actually be able to know what to predict in the future. So obviously, I came up with a platform called Parent Insight. The new platform is still obviously piloting right now. It's an idea which I came last year, and I've been working with it over the past few months, obviously with Mr. Kagosi. Obviously, what it does is able to provide you accurate and comprehensive information on climate risks, right? Able to predict long-term climate risk impacts, assist obviously in being and implementing effective climate risk management strategies as well, also improve on awareness. So in the interest of time, I'll just defer to the platform itself, so have a look at it. So you go to insight.org, find insight.org, you open the platform. So this is actually the platform you will see. So you're able to see over some of what it can do, the risks in terms of climate. It also assists obviously in terms of satellite imagery, in terms of obviously crop agriculture and obviously property risk as well. So you can take your time to maybe peruse through and see some of the different features it has. So for this demo, I'll probably just show you some of the things we are working on. So all you do is enter a place. So I'll enter Kamala here. Let's say Kamala, right? I just see it shows the places which are available. Kamala. So now what it does now is, so what we are doing now in the background is obviously to give you some of the around that area. So able to see the drought risk, storm risk, heat risk, air quality risk, fire risk, flood risks, and also the plants. So basically, you're able to actually know exactly what kind of plants you can plant in certain regions and areas. From there, if you wanted, is able to actually get a detailed report of this, obviously the place you have chosen. And this information obviously is coming from satellite imaging. So the idea is what we're doing now is try to use satellite imaging from different sites, from NASA satellites, and then give you a trend of what actually is happening in areas. So you see, right, some of the risks, in the last 5 years, and up as high as obviously next 10 years. So it's only just giving you an overview risk of certain areas. So on the report itself, obviously, and click on that, you're able to actually get the location which we have chosen. So that's in obviously locations which you can obviously choose and obviously select from. So to give you the coordinates of that place, if it's Kamala, which part of Kamala we're talking about, right? Obviously, if you want something more comprehensive, that obviously can discuss and obviously give you that information. And then obviously give you obviously a detailed report, obviously the risk and the trends in the past and what to expect to see in the future. And obviously also give you some of the ways that can reduce the risk in this area. So to give the plans which around that area. So if it's, let's say, Kamala or Victoria Falls or anywhere in Zambia, the idea is to make it so easy for people to understand, right? A simple dashboard for anyone, anywhere in Zambia to fully just type out. So property. So before you even buy a property, right, in Kamala or Churundu and anywhere, you can actually able to have a risk assessment, right? Given data from comprehensive sources like obviously NASA, satellite, and all the satellite imaging are using on. Of course, it's true, like I'm saying, in its inception, because of course, getting this information from satellite is actually very expensive. So that's one of the things we're trying to do now is obviously other partners try to get it at a cheaper rate and obviously explain some of our goals on how this information can be used. The idea of this information is give it for free. So people actually be able to access information for free anywhere, right? So basically the idea is to create more of awareness, right, of what this crime is actually doing in the country and give people the right information at any point. Right now, people don't understand what's happening in most places, anywhere in Zaka or Zambia generally. So in the interest of time, I would love to end here. And obviously, if you want more information or maybe a different session, I can always give you more insight on the system itself and how it works. So Mr. Kagosi, I think you can take over.
Thank you so much, Musekiwa Moyo, for that great presentation. And just now, we'll just take a short break. When we come back, we'll have Mr. Kagosi Mwamlowe. He is an International Council on Monuments and Sites, ICOMOS Zambia president, a World Heritage specialist who has worked on a number of projects with UNESCO, African World Heritage Fund, and others on the African continent relating to the World Heritage Convention. He is a former regional director with National Heritage Conservation Commission. He combines expertise in environmental, social, and heritage impact assessments, geographical information systems, disaster risk management for cultural and natural wild and heritage sites, heritage research and communication project management, as well as integrated water resource management. Just on the other side, Kagosi Mwamlowe will be right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, you agree with me that indeed Musekiwa Moyo is a great innovator. My role this afternoon is to just put some icing on the cake that Musekiwa has baked for us. So what I want to indicate is that I would like to just give some applications in terms of the World Heritage Convention or the National Heritage Conservation Commission Act. If you were very attentive and you followed Musekiwa's presentation, it gives us a summary. In short, you are able to get to in one report, fire risks, air pollution risks, flood risks, drought risks, all that is able to be uploaded in one report. What a great opportunity. And if you look at the present, trends, or the current trends in the world, everybody is talking about climate change. Now, if you look at this application, let's go to the Victoria Falls as an example. When you have a reactive monitoring that is mission, or any that is mission, be it that is, in this case it will be IUCN mission. If they are examining risks or at a World Heritage Site, you find that this software comes in handy because it's going to authenticate the reports. When you say there are fire risks, you cannot just use statements which are just from the wild. If you are saying drought, this software is able to collect all the data within a certain period, and you are able to know that if you go to the Victoria Falls and you want to put up some development, your development should be put up with that reference point, or that understanding that you are likely to find the different types of that is risks which have been specified. And in this case, even when you are planning for that is a heritage development, you have to bring on board all those risks. For if we are looking at a site like maybe a national park, you can even integrate information in terms of the disease occurrence or on a certain trend, a certain period of during a certain period of time. You can also integrate aspects of outbreaks of maybe pests and so on. This software is able to do all that. So in short, we have a software or an application which can be used for us heritage experts to monitor the environment. To a certain extent, this software even helps you to even identify the type of crops. In this case, since we're in conservation, it will even help you the risks which our plants are likely to face in that particular environment, especially when you are looking at ecological sites. When you are talking of archaeological sites and so on, you are able to tell that if there are a lot of fires, our rock paintings are likely to be disturbed because you are able to determine the trends in terms of the fire risks. The same applies to that is a drought. If you are keeping, your site is ecologically important for maybe bat migration, then all of a sudden you find that there are a lot of droughts. Those mosquitoes may end up drying out, and at the end of the day, you may not have something to protect. So in short, this application can be used in disaster risk management at our heritage sites. It can be used for heritage management planning. It comes to preparation of management plans, you can use this software. You can also use this software in heritage impact analysis or assessment. You can also use this software in environmental impact assessment, because you'll be able to determine the magnitude of a particular threat or risk. You also be able to look at the probability of a certain negative event happening. Then, most of all, what is even interesting is that it has got some component of disaster response. Beyond that, this software reduces on the cost of you going to buy satellite images from NASA and so on, because those are at a high cost. But here is a software which is at our doorsteps, which I would want to, that is, encourage not just the Zambian conservationists, but also the conservationists or heritage experts out there in Africa and possibly the rest of the world, so that at the end of the day, we are able to protect our heritage beyond borders. Having reached this stage, I would like to, say thank you very much for giving us a hearing that is here. And I also want to commend young Musekiwa for his innovations. I know this is just one innovation, but given an opportunity, he has got a number of innovations, which I think they'll be for another session. Thank you very much, moderator, for the time.
There you have it. That was Kagosi Mwamulowe, ICOMOS, Zambia chapter president.